Stop saying, "I have bad luck in love," because bad luck isn't the problem. You are. Yes, you. You are choosing the wrong partners, not randomly finding them. And the reason is simple but painful. You are addicted to what is familiar. This isn't about soft dating advice. This is about psychological depth. We're going beneath the surface to find the shadow blueprint that runs your love life. It's the reason why your ex is still your type. Get ready for the truth.
The TikTok trap. Let's be brutally honest. You've scrolled TikTok and self-diagnosed with a trauma bond 1,000 times. That label feels heavy, complex, and forgivable. You think the trauma itself is the magnet pulling you back to that ex who leaves you on red for 3 days. Hard truth, you're not bonding with the trauma, you're addicted to the familiarity of the dynamic. Blaming the past, "It's my PTSD, it's my abandonment wound," is the easy clinical cop-out. It requires zero self-correction. It's much harder, and more painful, to blame the present self for actively choosing the chaos. The subconscious selection system, replication over happiness. Your brain is not a random picker. It's a sophisticated, yet primitive, computer running an unshakable selection system that prioritizes one thing above all else: replication. Your subconscious literally doesn't care about the concept of happiness or stability you consciously desire. It seeks to rerun the core emotional script of your childhood. Why? Because that script is the only roadmap your survival instinct recognizes as safe. If you grew up feeling like you had to fight for attention, always seeking validation from an emotionally unavailable parent, your dating life becomes a replay of that exact script. You actively select partners who are slightly distant, slightly critical, or slightly unreliable because that familiar tension feels like a chance to finally win the conditional love you lacked. It's a self-sabotaging quest for retroactive justice. The 10-year rule: stability as a foreign language. Think about the 10-year rule. It's a psychological benchmark. If one of your primary caregivers was emotionally distant, 10 years later, your partner will likely exhibit the same emotional distance. Why? Because that push-pull, that uncertainty, that low-grade anxiety becomes your emotional comfort zone. Scientific evidence: your brain's reward centers, specifically involving the dopamine pathways, are actually stimulated more strongly by intermittent reinforcement, like getting a text back after 3 hours of silence, than by constant, predictable affirmation. That familiar chaos is what your psyche registers as love or passion. The stable, available person who calls when they say they will and speaks calmly during conflict feels weird, suspicious, even boring. Your system interprets their peace as a threat because there is no known script for safety. The comfort of misery. You literally prefer the comfortable misery to the unfamiliar peace. Think of it like this. Your stable, secure partner is offering you a luxurious, quiet, well-lit apartment, but your trauma-addicted mind keeps pulling you back to that familiar, cramped, dark closet. Why? Because in the closet, you know exactly where the spiders are. You know the exact dimension of the pain. The unknown peace, that lack of familiar pain, is the true terror. You are self-sabotaging because you are actively trading long-term emotional liberation for the short-term, low-grade anxiety you call normal. This isn't fate. It's a choice made daily by your nervous system. Let's move towards ownership. The first step toward freedom is this radical shift in language. Stop saying, "I was trauma-bonded." Start saying, "I am actively rejecting peace." Stop saying, "I have bad luck." Start saying, "I need to fire the director of my childhood script." The solution is not to find a better partner. The solution is to confront the terrifying reality that your current misery is serving a hidden purpose. It's keeping you safe in the emotional chaos you know. And until you accept that radical ownership, you will forever remain the director of your own romantic tragedy. The betrayal of stability. Let's be brutally honest. When you ask anyone about their ideal partner, their conscious mind says respectful, honest, and stable. But your dating history proves your unconscious mind has an entirely different shopping list. You meet a genuinely stable person, they call when they say they will, they speak calmly during conflict, and a voice whispers, "Why is he so nice? He must be hiding something major." That's your childhood script kicking in. Your system was raised on a diet of low-grade anxiety. The tension, the uncertainty, the knowing that peace could break at any second. That familiar anxiety is what your brain registers as safe or normal. You actively sabotage the stable relationship because peace feels like the silence before the storm. You destroy the stability you claim you want to get back to the familiar, controllable level of anxiety you know how to survive. The chemical core. Trading stability for adrenaline. Here is the chemical core of the problem. You confuse drama with passion. When a relationship is stable, there is no conflict, and no conflict means no surge of adrenaline or cortisol, the powerful stress hormones that make you feel like you're on a high-stakes emotional roller coaster. The brain's reward centers are stimulated more strongly by intermittent reinforcement, receiving validation after a period of withdrawal or stress, than by consistent, predictable affirmation. That intense burst of dopamine and oxytocin you get when you win the fight and your partner comes back is vastly more addictive than the low, steady warmth of a stable partner. Adrenaline addiction, the comfort of misery. Your nervous system has been conditioned to equate the adrenaline rush of conflict, the fight or flight feeling, with feeling alive. A calm relationship, rich in slow, steady, happy hormones, is simply too slow for your system. You were programmed to chase the fight. Real-world example? Think about checking your phone after intentionally starting a fight or pulling away. That anxiety, that anticipatory dread is the hit. The actual high of making up feels more powerful than the consistent warmth of stability. You are actively trading long-term emotional liberation for the short-term, high-stakes chemical rush. The solution: firing the adrenaline director. The difficult truth is that you literally prefer the comfortable misery because you know its parameters. The unknown piece is the true terror. The first step to breaking this pattern is a chemical recognition. The next time a stable partner makes you feel bored, recognize that feeling as your nervous system detoxing from its adrenaline addiction. Your job is to stay, breathe, and teach your brain. This low, steady flow is not a trap. This is what safety feels like. Until you retire the adrenaline director, you will forever remain the saboteur of your own happiness. The radical detox. Choosing boredom over adrenaline. If you want the right partner, you have to do the one thing your adrenaline junkie brain absolutely dreads. Learn to embrace the CHANGE of being, BORING. Stability feels tedious because your nervous system has been programmed for chaos. Your inner child learned that love equals high-stakes effort, emotional volatility, and anxiety. A calm, reliable partner doesn't give you that dopamine-driven rush of, is he leaving me? Is she mad? The absence of drama is what your brain misinterprets as boredom or lack of connection. This is the ultimate self-sabotage. You dump the good one because they make you feel too safe, and safety is a foreign, boring concept to your system. You are mistaking the cessation of pain for stagnation. Real-world example. Think of an addict in recovery. When they stop using, they don't feel peace. They feel intense anxiety and terror. The chaos was their normal. The boredom you feel with a stable partner is the feeling of your nervous system detoxing from its adrenaline addiction. The low, steady flow is terrifying because it's unknown. The chaos agent? This is the painful checkpoint where you must stop blaming the universe and look in the mirror. You need radical honesty. Ask yourself, what do I do when things are genuinely peacefully stable? Do I start unnecessary arguments about things that don't matter? Do you test your partner's boundaries by pulling away? Do you suddenly feel the urge to create space when things get too close? If your pattern is to generate conflict when peace occurs, congratulations. You are the chaos agent in your own life. Your wrong partners are merely supporting actors in the drama you are the director of. The work starts here, not by finding a different person, but by firing your dramatic self and accepting radical ownership over your emotional input. Healing is chemical reprogramming, not just therapy. You need to actively override the old script. Stop treating your current stable relationship as a rerun. Start building a new emotional history. Every time a stable partner does something boringly predictable, like being on time or actively listening, your brain will scream, "Bored! Run!" That is the panic of the old script trying to survive. Your job is to stay, breathe, and teach your nervous system. This low, steady flow is not a trap. This is what safety feels like. This is what peace feels like. The final choice? That is the choice you make 100 times a day. Choose the boring stability over the familiar high-stakes toxic drama. That is the only way you change the chemical makeup of your attraction and the kind of partner you bring into your life.
The final hard truth, the rigged game. Let's look at the harsh reality one last time. The person you label as too nice is boring because they don't give your inner child the familiar chance to fight for love. The person you label a red flag doesn't feel dangerous, they just feel like home. You've been programmed to seek the friction, the high-stakes chaos. You've been playing a rigged game where winning is defined by the intensity of your emotional highs, not the quality of your relationship. Your time, your money, and your sanity have been consumed trying to fill a hole that only she can close from the inside. Your task is to stop validating the chaotic chase. The ultimate task, making peace feel like home. The only way to win is to change the game's goal from high-stakes drama to low-stakes stability. Your ultimate, most radical task in this life is not to find a good partner, but to fundamentally make peace feel like home. This means recognizing that the boredom you feel is the sound of your nervous system detoxing from its adrenaline addiction. Quick quiz. Question 1. Have you ever wondered if your type is subconsciously trying to win an emotional war you lost in childhood? Question 2. Have you ever found yourself unconsciously starting arguments just because you're bored? Question 3. Are you ready to fire your dramatic self and accept the terrifying truth that peace will feel like a bigger threat than chaos? The final call. If you are ready to fire the director of your childhood script, please hit subscribe and comment yes with your biggest realization from this video. Stop being a supporting player in your own sinful drama. Be the architect of your own peace.